Earlier this year, I signed $67,000 in new clients in 35 days, and I only used cold email. No ads and no personal brand. Just one simple cold email campaign that takes a few hours to set up. So in this video, I'll break down exactly how I did it in 5 steps, and this is perfect for you even if you're starting from zero. First, we'll cover the exact email setup we used to scale to 3,000 cold emails a day and kept our reply rates high. Number 2, we'll go over how to build your total addressable market in under 10 minutes with live examples and downloadable lead lists. Number 3, we'll use the most viral sales tool on the planet to write our cold emails in a way that looks personal but scales like crazy. Then I will break down a real cold email live and rewrite it from scratch so it actually gets more leads. So each section of this video is basically a mini course. You can walk away with actionable advice and value even if you never finish the full video. So by the end, you'll have everything you need to easily sign clients. Now I know every single cold email video on YouTube talks about the old and painful way of setting up your email accounts. You have to manually set up SPF, DKIM, your DMARC records. You have to buy dozens of domains. You have to add profile pictures one by one, connect each domain to Gmail accounts. And I'm about to bore myself to sleep talking about this stuff. Now, most people spend weeks trying to figure this out. The YouTube tutorials, the technical issues, the support chats with Google, and they still end up without any results. You're probably someone who wants to generate leads and cut through the BS, not become your local IT nerd. So I want to show you a much better way to do this. I'm going to show you how to get enterprise level cold email accounts set up in just a few days. And it doesn't require any time at all. You don't need to have any sort of technical knowledge, and there's no guessing whether you set something up correctly. So these are the exact done for you tools I used to land $67,000 in new clients. And they work for you whether you're just starting out with cold email or you're trying to actively scale. I'm gonna give you 3 options I use. They'll save you weeks of setup even if you're on a budget. And just to be clear, I'm not affiliated with any of these companies, and these are not ads. These are my actual recommendations. Option number 1 is scaledmail.com. I mean, you can literally send 30,000 cold emails a month for $200. And they rotate the tenant IP every 15 days. They do that for added security and reliability. Option 2 is cheapinboxes.com. So these are Google inboxes that are ready within 24 to 48 hours. And I've seen that they have a very great support team, especially when there's global cold email issues that you might need help with. Bottom line, these 3 providers help you send cold emails at scale without hitting spam. And this is all without you needing to set up a single thing yourself. So these are my recommendations. And there's a ton of reasons that getting this done for you is a no-brainer, because setting up proper cold email accounts manually, it takes about 40 to 60 hours, even if you know what you're doing. So if we price your hourly rate at $100 an hour, which is probably way less than what your time is worth, that's still thousands of dollars lost in opportunity cost. And the pricing of these setups that I mentioned are just too low for the value you get. And they include ongoing optimization and support. And the best part is that they know immediately what to do when either Gmail or Microsoft changes something that will affect your cold emails getting to the inbox, because they are constantly monitoring deliverability across thousands of accounts. So this is your new advantage. So now that you can reach inboxes, let's talk about who you should actually be reaching out to and how to build a list of every single one of them. So the biggest mistake I see when it comes to list building is building your list with a spray and pray approach. So what I mean is businesses will scrape a list of all marketing directors or all SaaS companies on Apollo, and then they send the same exact generic email to every single person on that list. Especially in 2025, this doesn't work because B2B buyers are becoming more sophisticated as we go. They can instantly tell when you don't understand their specific situation. So here's what I like to say. Your list is your strategy. If you get this wrong, it doesn't matter how good your cold emails are or how perfect your deliverability is. So let me show you how to build a laser targeted list that practically guarantees higher response rates. I'm gonna go ahead and use clay.com for this because it is my favorite AI prospecting tool. So let me show you how to find these people, which is your total addressable market, in just a few minutes. And instead of just building a fake list, I posted on my LinkedIn, and a real founder who is actively trying to grow his business using cold email reached out. He owns a performance marketing agency that works with funded startups. He told me that his ideal clients are early stage tech startups with anywhere between 10 to 200 employees. They're based in the United Kingdom and the United States. And the job titles he wants to target are founders, CMOs, head of growth, and marketing managers. So I'm going to show you how to build their total addressable market inside of clay.com. This way, you can copy exactly what I do. You'll see the exact filters, the exact AI prompts, and deep data gathering systems that I use to create lists they can actually use for outbound. So let's hop over to clay.com. So once you're inside of clay.com, at the very top, go to quick start, and then you're gonna see find companies. Based off of their ideal client profile earlier, I'm just going to type that in the industries to include. I'm typing in technology, information, and internet. And then I'm gonna type in information technology because they're going after tech companies. In terms of the employee size, I'm going to do 11 to 50 and then 51 to 200. And then right here, we can actually put a couple keywords. So I'm going to put startup, I'm going to put SaaS, early stage, and then I'll just put tech. And then in the keywords to exclude, I'm going to put agency, and then I'll just put something like consulting. Location, we want to do United States, and then United Kingdom. And then this looks about ready, so we're going to click continue. After I click continue, it's going to push all of those companies into a clay table, and then just click right here, continue for free. So now that we have a clay table of companies, we want to find the right job titles. So top right, go to actions, and then click find people at these companies. So the job titles that they wanted to target were founders, CMO, marketing manager, and finally, they wanted to target head of growth. When you're done adding the job titles that you wanted to target, just click preview people right here. So just check the job titles right here, make sure that they are good to go. When they are, click import to new table, and then click continue for free. All right, so at this point, we have a clay table of all of the contacts that we wanted to target, and we wanted to make sure that we have the right companies as well. So the exact ideal client profile that I was told, which is tech startups in the US and UK with 100 to 200 employees, and then the exact job titles, we built that inside of clay.com in literally less than 3 minutes. But if you're a little lazy like I am and don't want to spend time clicking through 47 different filters or columns inside of clay, I use this tool called IntellMatch, and watch what I can do. I can literally type in tech startups in the US and UK with 100 to 200 employees. So the AI pre-verifies each company, gives me the emails, and then gives me the phone number of the job titles that I want to target. So I ended up giving Harry both lists from Clay and IntellMatch. And that's how I just built their total addressable market in under 10 minutes. But what I haven't showed you yet is the real secret, because the clay.com template that I'm about to give you, it goes 1,000 layers deeper. This isn't just filters or job titles. It pulls in each company's funding, their competitors, any partnerships they have, their distribution channels, their average deal size, even how they make money. Every field is already enriched, and it can be tailored for your business. This way, you can write insanely personalized cold emails, or you can score your leads for your sales team. I dropped the template link in the description. Go ahead and duplicate it into your Clay account. So when you click the link in the description for the Clay table, just go to your workspace and then click create table. All right, so now we're in. Next, I'm going to import the fresh list that we just got from Clay already. So first we need to go back to the table, click actions, and then I'm going to export. All you really need is a CSV or just a Google Sheet of leads, but you need to have their website. Without that, this Clay template won't work. So back in the Clay template, it should now be inside of your Clay account. Just go to actions, import, and then drag and drop your CSV. When you are mapping it, again, like I said, the main thing that you need is their domain. So click continue, make sure that company domain is matched to regular domain, and then you can also add these in as well. And then click save and don't run. So if you want to test and make sure that it does work, just go to run column, and then let's just say we're going to run 25 rows. And we would do that for every single column right here. So now, as you can see, these are real leads. They're currently being enriched by Claygent, which is their AI agent. It's finding out what exactly these companies do, who are their competitors, which is right here, what type of business model do they run, what type of case studies do they have. We can see their partners, we can see their primary revenue model, we can see what type of distribution channels they're currently running, and we can see their average deal size. So the amount of things that you can do with this data has no limit. But here's the problem that most people run into. They can build the perfect lead list, but if they just send generic cold emails, nothing is gonna work. That's why this next step is critical and is built into the Clay table. Next up, we're going to auto-generate emails. So personalized, the new clients that you'll sign with these emails will hop on sales calls thinking that you spent 20 minutes handwriting them a cold email. So now comes the part that separates bad cold email campaigns from exceptional ones, and it revolves around the messaging. Most people either think that personalization means adding somebody's first name or their company to their generic cold email. That's just not how it works. Real personalization means showing that you understand specific business challenges and situations. And with Clay's AI capabilities, we can do this at massive scale. So as you can see in this Clay table, we've added 4 Clay columns that can auto-generate the core of your cold email without writing a single line yourself. This first column right here writes a custom first line based off of their partnerships, so it feels handwritten and that you did research. The second column is a relevance builder. that ties their focus or ideal client profile to your reason for you reaching out. The third is a personalized sentence showing how your offer can solve a specific pain point based off of their specific business model. And the fourth and final column is a call to action that invites them to see a specific Loom video that's tied to you solving their problem. These 4 pieces stack directly into this column, which is your ready to send email. Here's a couple of examples of what these cold emails look like. You see how personalized they are? Each prospect gets an email that feels specifically written for them, because in a sense, it was.
And the best part about cold email is that you can essentially test these different lines versus each other. So what I mean by that is this 4-line cold email can be the first test. And then if you delete one line, this can be the other test. And then really you could test this one as well, where it's, hey, first name, want to see a 60-second Loom video. Again, Clay has written you 4 personalized lines for your cold email. You can either use all 4 of these in the same email, or you can A/B test them versus each other.
Clay's AI is creating unique content for each person based on their specific business context. Now, this is what allows me to send high volume campaigns that still generate 5 to 10% response rates. I know Clay agencies who charge $1,000 for this, but if you do want this template, it's linked below in the description and it's completely free. All right, so now that you've got personalized emails writing themselves in Clay, you might still be wondering, do I still need to understand how cold emails are written if the AI is writing them? And the answer is only if you want more replies. Because here's the truth, even with the best data and personalization, your cold email can still flop if the offer is weak or your call to action is too hard to say yes to. So in this quick bonus section, we're gonna train your instincts so you can instantly spot what's wrong in any cold email. So I'll take a real cold email from Harry, who's the founder we built the list for earlier, and I'll rewrite it using the same frameworks that you can apply for your own campaigns. And by the way, you don't need to touch any Clay prompts for this, but once you do understand how great cold emails are structured, you'll know exactly what to look for and what to tweak if your reply rates suddenly drop. So we're gonna walk through a before and an after on this cold email. We'll go over what made the original cold email fall flat and how to fix it, then how to structure a call to action that gets replies, and finally, how to inject clarity, social proof, and tone without overdoing it in a cold email. So here's the before cold email. This is so generic and it's so formal, like free marketing growth audit. Like that just feels templated and low value. I'm sure they get that exact pitch by thousands of agency owners. And there's no flow to it. It starts mid-thought about leadership, hiring, and partnerships, and then it suddenly jumps to budget. Like there's no clear narrative. And then look at their call to action. You're essentially asking for a call without first delivering value. So that makes your call to action feel selfish or self-serving instead of actually valuable and what's in it for them. So here's our cold email rewrite. We're using the same value proposition, but we're positioning it differently and have a totally different structure. So your subject line is quick idea for, and then their company name. Hi, Sophia, can I send over a 60-second video showing how we helped Hubo generate $15 million in revenue while cutting year-over-year spend by 75%? If it doesn't show a way to cut 30 to 50% from your marketing budget, feel free to tell me to kick rocks. So a couple reasons why this works is because just look at the call to action. You see how easy and light and non-pushy it is? It essentially makes the reader want to know what's in your Loom video. And mentioning $15 million in revenue and 75% year-over-year reduction, that brings instant credibility with specific numbers that matter. And if you saw, I kind of sprinkled in a little bit of personality. At the very end, I said, feel free to tell me to kick rocks. That makes it seem a lot more human. Kind of disalarm them, you take them from a defensive mode, and it's a big pattern interrupt. And notice how in the rewrite, we didn't write a novel or overcomplicate anything. We essentially just shortened the cold email to make it a lot more concise. So here's a key takeaway. You don't need to become a professional copywriter, but when you understand what makes a cold email actually work, you'll know how to spot any weak points and fix them before your campaigns flop. And pair this with the Clay system that we just built in the last section, you now have the 2 things that most people never combine. You have precision targeting and you have great messaging. Together, they are lethal. So now it's your turn. Plug your leads into this Clay template, add in your own offer, and run the personalization. And if you ever see your reply rates drop, you'll know exactly what to do. All right, so now that your emails are getting replies, here's the part that nobody talks about. So we've spent all this time setting up our inboxes, building the perfect list, and crafting personalized outreach. But most campaigns don't die because nobody replies. They die because nobody books into meetings. And this next part, it's what turns inbox noise into revenue. So here's what I learned from analyzing hundreds of successful email conversations. You have about 5 minutes max to respond to interested replies. Now, I'm not exaggerating. The data is crystal clear after talking with so many guys in this industry. If you respond within 5 minutes, you increase your chances of booking your meeting by 80%. But if you respond within an hour, that goes down to around 40%. If you respond after 24 hours, that goes down to around 15%. So set up your Gmail filters, set up your Slack notifications, do whatever it takes to reply within a couple minutes, because your interested prospect is probably on their phone at the same exact time that they're replying to you. So you need to be quick while they're interested, while they're in the mood to be on their phone and replying to you. Because if you miss that window, you will be chasing them for weeks and they will ghost you. Here is the exact process we use to convert replies into booked meetings. So step number 1 is answering their question, but you're trying to keep it as concise as possible. So if they ask about pricing, don't just give them a number or range over email. Instead, say, great question about pricing. I'd be happy to discuss that. Our work is typically custom enough that your question a lot of the times warrants a quick 5 to 10 minute Zoom call. Are you free next Wednesday at 2 p.m. EST or Thursday at 11 a.m. EST? Because the goal of cold email is not to sell them on your service. The goal of cold email is to book a meeting. And then on that meeting, you're trying to make sure that they are a good fit before you even start selling them. Step number 2, always push for a sales call. Every single response that you have should end with a meeting request. Give them a couple options. Don't just start sending your link out of nowhere, because it's a lot easier for them to say, yeah, actually Wednesday works, rather than clicking on your calendar link, answering so many questions, putting in their email, and then doing all that. That creates a lot of friction. We want to make this as frictionless as possible. And most people who are cold emailing typically quit after 1 or 2 follow-ups. That is probably the best way for you not to close clients. What do you want to do? If you see somebody reply to your cold email and you think that they're a good fit, like, I would not stop following up until they either say no or they start getting upset with you. You need to stay top of mind and you need to keep following up with the right leads. And if they don't reply, when all else fails, send this email to them. Hey, John, my guess is that timing might be off on this, or that there's less than 0 interest in actually having a conversation. So let me know if I should circle back in a couple months or if I should just completely close this out. That often gets a ton of replies from prospects who have been ghosting you for a while. So I would definitely recommend testing that out. A couple red flags to avoid when it comes to your follow-ups is, again, never sending your calendar link. Don't answer every question over email. Like, save some things for the call, or whether that's a Loom video. Don't give up after 2 follow-ups. Again, the money is in the follow-up if it is the right prospect. And then number 4, don't ask them kind of like qualifying questions. Just try to push them to a meeting. Because the bottom line is that converting replies to meetings is a skill set. And like any skill set, it has specific techniques and there's a lot of specific mistakes that you can make along the way. So what I would recommend doing is viewing prospects who reply to your cold emails. Essentially just view them as warm traffic now. Like, they've raised their hand and shown interest in your email. So your job is to nurture that interest into a booked meeting as quickly as you can. Master this part of cold email and your calendar is going to be flooded with qualified prospects. And with that, you've officially mastered the full system that I used to sign 70 grand of clients in 35 days. But if you're the type of person that wants to avoid mistakes that most cold emailers make early on, I put together a free 2-hour beginner's guide to cold email. It covers every single thing I wish I knew when I was starting out 5 years ago. The tools, the setup, the strategy, and the small details that make a big difference. No gatekeeping, just the real stuff laid out very clear. We'll see you there. Thanks for watching.